I introduced you, I'm gonna say this is a friend of mine. That means you're a connected guy. Now, if I said instead, this is a friend of ours, that would mean you a main guy. Capiche?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Training camp go good. You ready for the fight?
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Looking at your record, you just don't like going the distance, do you? You're just gonna let's just finish this now.
Yeah, no. We don't get paid to be there extra, so I try to kill or be killed, you know?
Yep. Your last Koga fight against Jordan, at no point were you really out of that fight. That fight turned into a dog fight. What do you remember of that fight? How'd that go?
I just remember throwing like a front kick and then he landed that overhand and I'm like, oh fuck, again, because that happened in the first fight. And then after that, I just pretty much went like autopilot. Should have like used a little bit more footwork, boxed a little better, but man, I was just emotional. I just wanted to get that W back,
Yeah.
which happens, which that's why I like this one. This fight is like a brand new opponent, not a rematch.
And
Now I get to, yeah.
I think a guy like you versus a guy like Sean, both of you guys are down for dog fights and you're going for a knockout or a submission either way, but slim chance this fight's going the distance.
Yeah, yeah, very slim. Just especially the way he fights, the way I fight, it's gonna be. This is one of those fights where, like, it's like a promoter's dream. Like, he is it with my boxing and his cardio. It's gonna be. I can't wait. This is very good matchup. He's got 2 pro fights. He's got an extensive amateur record though. He's been around for a while, but 2 pro fights, and then I have 3, so it's perfect.
It is. It does feel like it's the right time for both of you guys to be meeting.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a fight that I was eyeing when he was the Koga amateur 135-pound champion. So it was a guy that I've been like looking at for a while too. So it's
So you
nice.
so you've been studying Gay tape and you've seen he just throws the most wild things out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
yeah, yeah. And he also fought one of my teammates, Sahab. So we were able to game plan for him twice now. Kind of switched up like some of the like coaches a little bit. So this camp has been more like tailored towards like me in terms of like we still have a team here, obviously at Ivans, but now I like brought in like a few guys like that are like holding pads for me and like looking at like footage, which is like something that I never really did before, and also dieting. I've been dieting for this one. For all my other fights, I would just eat tortillas, because I'm Mexican, and I just like do these ridiculous cuts where like it'd be like 15 pounds of water, 12 pounds of water. And I just noticed that my chin wasn't as good. So now this time around, I don't want to cut more than 5 pounds. And I'm 147 right now, which is way ahead of schedule. I'm normally 155 3 days before the weigh-in. So almost 8 pounds.
You brought up Ivan Saliveri, and I see the logo behind you, and everyone who knows that dude is royalty and legendary, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest. What led you to Ivan Saliveri's gym?
I was training at AMC with Matt, like Matt Hume and
Yep.
Demetrius Johnson.
Another legend.
Yeah, I wasn't training with them specifically, but I was training at that gym. And then I had a few buddies that were like, "Hey man, like Ivan's giving people fights, because at the time during COVID and everything, AMC wasn't really like like unless it was DJ or a few of their like loyal amateur guys, they weren't really giving like up and comers like me fights. So then when I heard about Ivan's, I'm like, I need to go check it out because I was scared initially because I've heard stories of like the hard sparring, like even me, I was like, but I was training with Ben Wada for some time, but it was just I love the training there, but right here there's like a lot of like sparring partners and just knowing Ivan, and I know Ivan came from that AMC lineage. I just like this is where I need to be, and just complete night and day, like the way Ivan like just treats people and like just cares about the fighters. I'm like a second dad to me, like I have to be here. I like being here and I want to represent him good.
Yep. Yeah, you got that name on your back. You better be a good fighter
Yeah.
and
Yep.
represent. Yep.
Exactly.
What so when you found your way to AMC, what led you to AMC or led you to fighting and all that stuff? Why'd we go that path?
I went because my brother was going there. What kind of led me to fighting was I had a fight in 5th grade, and I like lost that fight, right? And I started doing wrestling, like middle school wrestling, but I was from a small city. It's called Mattawa. It's like no more than like 1,500 people in that like little city. So there was no boxing gym. But at 16, I'm like, I knew I wanted to fight just because I was a fight fan. I was a fan before I like started doing it. So then I moved out here in Seattle. My brother was going to AMC, started there. But initially what got me was just like losing a fight, losing a fight. I was, and to this day, that's my only fight. Like I don't fight like in the streets and stuff, that's been my only fight, but that's kind of what led me. And then I watched a lot of WWE wrestling, like pro wrestling. And then my brother was like, oh, there's like this thing that's like for real. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like UFC. And then that's when I'm like, I was like 13 at the time. So I'm like, oh fuck. Like, then I'm like, wrestling's fake? What? I don't want to believe wrestling was fake to this day.
Yep.
Nah, I'm like, but yeah, just finding that out and just the accumulation of like wrestling helped, right? And then my brother, just kind of like sparring my brother growing up too, just led me to this journey. And AMC, obviously, like everybody knows about AMC, but like going back at it, like it was nice, like learning technique there, but I wanted to fight, so I feel like I wasted like 3 years, 4 years there, but it is what it is. Now I'm fighting and trying to be as active as I can be now.
If you look around, like I still have a bunch. I'm still to this day a pro wrestling fan, and I remember what you're saying. Like when you're little and it's awesome, and then when you find out, what do you mean it's scripted and fake? Like it's kind of soul crushing for a minute.
Yeah.
Who were you into watching back then?
I love watching. Like I was like kind of like the newer school, like WWE pro wrestling, but I like Jeff Hardy. I like Rey Mysterio.
Yep. Yep.
I like the ECW guys like Rob Van Dam, Sandman. Those guys like just the ECW guys were like guys I liked. I also watched TNA, so like I like Sting. Older Sting, but he was still good.
Sting is Sting. It doesn't matter. Sting is allowed to be Sting anywhere he wants.
Yep. And Kurt Angle too.
Yep.
I liked all these guys, but even to this day, like I'll be on Instagram and like I love watching like just old like reels about like Macho Man, even though I didn't get to watch him, right? Hulk Hogan, Eric, like hearing Eric Bischoff talk about like the Nitro days. I love him.
Yeah.
To this day, I'm still kind of a fan.
I'm 100% a fan. This Monday,
like that's something that's gonna stay with me.
I'm in. Let's go. Yep.
Yeah.
So when you did start watching, when the brother told you, hey, this is real, and you started watching UFC, who did you like watching? Who did you be like, hey, this is my guy?
Yeah, I like watching a lot of like Lyoto Machida, like in that era, like Lyoto Machida. I like Chael Sonnen just because he was able to like talk crap. I'm like, oh wow, this is this is the guy that just because of his mouthpiece, like being able to like talk smack. I like Lyoto Machida, Chael Sonnen. One of the guys I really like though, like in that era, was Nick Diaz. Diaz, I love watching him, especially the Strike Force Nick Diaz.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite all-time guys.
The Stockton slap was always it was a thing, and it was amazing.
Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez too. So it was before he got hurt. With all the hard training, Cain Velasquez was one of them too.
He was a beast, but then he'd always get hurt. But then he'd always come back to be a beast. Like he was great.
Yeah. That Ngannou fight crushed me. I was like, fuck. When he fought Ngannou, he got finished like that. I was like,
but when he fought Brock and he beat Brock, I was off the couch screaming.
Yeah, I woke my dad up. I still remember. My dad was like sleeping, and like I remember when I was up screaming. I was like, I thought at the time I was also younger, so I was like, my dad was like, "Yo, shut up," like because he was sleeping in the living room, and like I was jumping up.
Yep.
I love that.
When you were little, and what was your favorite movie that always had to be on, always on repeat? Maybe you and the brother always watched it. What was your favorite movie when you were a kid?
I like takedowns and falls. It was like a documentary. Like this was when I was like 10, 11. What kind of got me into wrestling was the Takedown and Falls like movie. It was like based off like these two guys from Pennsylvania, and they were like wrestlers. They were good wrestlers, and they like documented out like the whole season. And seeing their like dedication to the sport at a young age was like, it was an eye opener, right? Because like where I'm from, like people like either like just stay working in the orchards and like just stay there, or they go to college. Yeah. But seeing that like them wrestling so hard and being able to wrestle at college, like nobody does that. And that was like one of my movies that I would just keep on watching on repeat.
Nice. All right, man. Fight camp went good. You said we're on weight. Oh, when you're okay, let's say for this one, because as we already said for the past one's weight cuts, but for this one, do you still have a cheat meal you work forward to at the end of the week?
For this one, I don't really, to be honest, like I've mastered like cooking healthy food, and after like a hard sparring, like I just like a good ground beef, you know, like burgers, patties, like with like rice. I don't really like I said, like for this camp, I'm not really like eating like fries, you know, like fried food and stuff like that. But like 3 weeks ago, before I cut off tortillas, my go-to meal was good old tacos, you know, with handmade tortillas, handmade salsa. Yep. With to keep it healthy, we did ground beef. I don't really like eating chicken a lot. I just like the flavor of ground beef is better, right? Yep. So just now though, I look forward to like having an apple, peanut butter, or some dates and peanut butter, you know, like that's kind of like I'm more of a snack guy right now, because right now it's just straight burger patties.
What's the celebration gonna fight? What's the celebration meal gonna be after the fight?
Rinconcito. Rinconcito. Yep, they have handmade tortillas. They're open till 1 a.m. So I have it all planned out.
Fight's over. You're gonna be placing the call right then.
Yep. Mole. I like their mole. I like their birria tacos. So I'm already ready for that. And I like that it's at Tulalip too. It's close. Yep. I like Silver Reef, but Silver Reef was kind of a 2-hour drive. So
yeah, it's
and then staying in the hotel, like didn't really like it around all that nasty, you know, casino food.
Yeah, no, that's right. I like that this one's at Tulalip too, and I always feel like whenever we're in that room in Tulalip, like there's just always something about being in that room, and that's why our main event and our co-main event, I was like, let's go, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, 100%. Just even at Tulalip, I've fought there. Last time I made my pro debut there, so it has good juju there. Like
it's good juju there.
Yeah. Nice. I beat Rob Morrison there.
So, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember that fight. I don't think I knew that was your debut, but I remember that fight.
Yeah, my debut.
Yep,
that was good. That was special. I remember after that fight, some just random guy in the crowd like handed me a beer. And I'm like, I'm chugging this right now. I just chugged it. The whole crowd section, the section went pretty wild. So
that was a good fight.
Like that.
I hope the juju stays with you when we're in that room, man. And I will see you Saturday night for fight night.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the interview, and I'll see you Saturday night.
All right, man. I'll see you. Thank you.
Continue this. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Once again, the show is presented by Combat Games MMA.